At this point, first quarter, about 2 minutes left. BI trying to get to his spot, spin, fade, about down the middle. Understand this though, brick, make that 1 for 7, right? Make that 1 for 7. A lot of people think, oh, I'm missing shots. I'm not gonna be able to get my flow, and they begin to panic, right? Right. A lot of people begin to panic, and then they take this shot, and they're like,
I shoot my shot in the brick. Yeah, I shoot my shot in the brick.
Right, and they begin to overthink. But you just got to continue to allow yourself to remain neutral, right? Allow yourself to remain at a point to where it's like, all I really need is just one bucket. I need to see one go through. I can just have one good play that could be able to take me and what I'm doing right now, put my flow at another level. So pay attention now. He's about to build his rhythm. Look, remember, BI is 1 for 7 at this point, right? 1 for 7. And all it takes for a player who's 1 for 7 is to see one go through and to start feeling good for you to get your own rhythm, right? And that's allowed second field goal made. This is allowed 2 for 8. And this is going to do wonders for him going down the stretch. Peep this though, right? BI on the catch. Screen by Zeller. Now, this two-man action right here is extremely difficult to guard because look at the spacing on the floor. Two-man action up top, in the middle, and now you got everybody else over here flattened out, right? And so right there, BI once again getting to the spots. And so understand exactly how he's able to get there. I want you to understand what Jaren Jackson's responsibility is at this point in time. He's not guarding just Brandon Ingram. He's guarding Brandon Ingram and Zeller, right? So at this point in time, he can't put all of his focus just on the ball. He has to put his attention on BI and Zeller. So at this point in time, he can't really focus and say what type of movements is he doing, where is he going. He's just really judging off of more so instinct and not intelligence. So Jackson, seeing that posture right here, right out of BI, it's like, oh, posture, boom, signifies a drive. But in reality, he's just getting into spots. And now what Jaren Jackson is now going to do is try to beat him to a spot. And so instead, he ends up dropping back to an area where he thought he was going to go, but he's not. And BI is just getting straight to where he wants to, which is right outside that elbow, right in his sweet range and that mid-range. This is the same action that they kind of ran before. Now, boom, you got 2 at the top, 3 down here flat. And so now BI ends up getting to his right at this point, and Jaren Jackson is kind of in the same coverage as he was last time. And so what's going to occur now is most importantly what's going on this weak side. Herb Jones screening for CJ McCollum. And this is going to give Brandon Ingram space to now get separation between him and his defender. So what this is doing is that Aldama is now playing help on the roll. Now Williams is now focused on CJ McCollum, and this gives Brandon Ingram space to now get separation. So now he's just simply able to get to exactly where he wants to. And if you ever noticed, look at his release point, right? His release point. You know how difficult that is to have the point like this just be super fluid? It's a tough thing to do. So BI just being at that length with that release point, good luck contesting that once he gets some little bit of separation. This literally might be a perfect hezzy. Watch BI, right? So first things first, he gets into space. 1, 2, look at his eyes. Now 3, look at his hands. Right? The offhand now is getting to the ball. And the hand that's on the ball doesn't get underneath the ball. He didn't carry on that hezzy. And now, boom, drops that, sells it to Aldama. Because the second you see some sort of separation, and with all those signifiers that tell you, oh, he's going to shoot, he's going to bite on that. And not just that, notice the efficiency and movement with that right leg, right? Look, a lot of people usually trigger step. BI steps in front. To now, instead of where he's taking a negative step, going backwards then forwards, he's already eating ground on that first step that he's about to take and getting closer to the rim. So now it's going to make the recovery for help even tougher because he's getting to where he wants to even quicker. That might just be a perfect hezzy. Watch BI. Watch BI. This is how commanding of a player you have to be at all positions, and especially a point guard. Tell people where to be because you know where they should be, and a lot of times players off the ball literally be lost, right? He's now telling Herb Jones to leave from this left corner as he gets into this pick and roll with Zeller, which is going to be going to his right, and Zeller's going to be rolling towards that side. Why did he do that, though? Understand this, right? As he gets right, all right, you have hands here by Biyombo discouraging that. Desmond Bane hands down here maybe discouraging that. But I don't give a fuck about that. I'm giving a fuck about this because the plug, right? Because now Roddy Rich David, what's his name? David Roddy. David Roddy is now going to end up having a plug over here on this. And had Herb Jones stayed in that left corner, he would have to throw hook pass over the hands of Biyombo and Bane, and that's probably a pass he's uncomfortable with, right? And so at this point in time, instead of having to make that pass, he now just has to throw a bounce pass to Herb Jones right here in this right corner instead of hooking to that left, and a pass that's covered much less of a distance. So now when Roddy decides to recover, it's much easier for him to be able to shoot that. Much cleaner of a look. You probably be looking at Jaren Jackson and be like, oh, we be in foul trouble all the time. Why you keep on jumping? It's difficult to guard two at one time with late communication. Peep this, right? Desmond Bane off that screen, right? And so at this point in time, he's still trying to guard two, and he doesn't even know where he needs to guard. But look at Desmond Bane. He releases and now leaves. And now this being a late switch, Ingram now at this same exact time gets separation. And now Jaren Jackson's like, oh shit, I gotta close that up. He about to shoot. He panics. This is really human habit of basketball players, right? This is something we naturally do. You know what I'm saying? When you have to make that decision last second, you know what I'm saying? Where you have to close up that gap, just try to take something away, you may end up leaving your feet, right? That's what happened to Jaren Jackson right there. Boom, hit, foul. Understand this about Brandon Ingram. Immaculate mid-range game, but he's not like a DeMar DeRozan to where he doesn't really have the three, right? He also has the three. He could shoot that three, as a matter of fact, at like about 40%, really, if he's just being efficient with it. And by the way, you just hit 7100. By the way, appreciate that sub jumping. So, most important is the shot clock. BI, catch, right? Scans the floor. It's a scan. Like, it's not a read. It's not like he's sitting there in conscious thought the whole time. It's a scan. Like, I'm looking over, what do I got? And it's just like, boom, I know what I got. Just understanding that. Catch. Turns, scans, sees the whole floor, understands what he has, right? And what does he have, right? He has Conchar on him. That's the surface level read. Now you begin to look at help, right? You have CJ McCollum on the right side, Najee Marshall on the left side. Notice how much help Williams is playing with CJ McCollum, and notice how much help Bane is playing with Najee Marshall. Bane is already sitting at this elbow. Najee Marshall is in a deny on CJ McCollum, right? So now BI's, boom, tween. Now I get to my right, where Williams is out of positions, right? And so even though he digs, I'm already able to get into my pickup and able to get more of a lane downhill so I can be able to get to where I want. Opposed to if I went left, I'll get to that pickup and not get as deep as I would had I went to this side. Now 2 long strides, straight through contact, strong with the ball. Switch with the left because Biyombo's coming from the right. Soft touch gets the lay. Look, understand this. It's so vital, right? Working with angles, right? Not just off the screen right here, right? Boom, he gets this angle here. Williams is now in the chase. But notice how he's going to cut this angle on Williams, right? Cuts it back middle, right? He gets underneath his body. And now at this point in time, he's going to get into space to that left side, right? Because why do you even have space? Because there is help over here, right? With Conchar, but Conchar is guarding Trey Murphy. He's a knockdown shooter. So you're going to have space. This is really an inactive help defender. So even though he may be there, he's not really there. He's not going to impact really what you do. And at this point in time, you see BI, he's fading left, one. And now Williams is about to jump, but the ball is already here at his release point. So good luck really contesting that. And the only way you can get yourself at a point where you have absolute disregard for a contest in that situation is by getting reps. That's the key to it. That's really the key to it all. I could just take his game and boil it down to, aside from the angles and all that stuff, is your ability just to get reps at one thing over and over and over and get consistent. This is some shit y'all hoopers today forget about, right? Watch BI, right? Notice his pivots. Look at all the space that he just created off of using his pivot, right? And now the space that he has right here is an elephant in the room. The defender knows it, the offensive player knows it, but BI is going to be a step ahead in understanding that since Conchar as a defender dropped his hands and the defender understands the fact I put my hands down, you got space and you have that length and you could shoot, BI says I'm not going to shoot. I'm a pump fake and you're going to bite because you left me that space, right? I'm going to leverage that space. I'm going to leverage what the elephant in the room was in this isolation. So literally simple as that. Pump fake, rip through, right? One dribble, late help defender, foul, free throws. Simple as that. You saw how simple he kept the shit? Understand this. Zion going to this other short corner. Boom, better for spacing. Screen coming to the right side for Zeller, right? So now the right side is overloaded, right? And so understand the tag. Look at Tillman. He's been in the paint for a little minute. So now he's going to have to step out, boom, get back in. So then he could go take away Zeller. But in doing so, when Zeller goes, you leave one person on this right side to guard this corner and short corner. And everyone who has, the next person who has to guard Zion is in rotation. right? So now Tillman has to step back over. Now, already being late and Zion already being at the block, he's going to try to make a last-ditch effort to try to make a play on the ball and prevent it. And now Jaren Jackson is down here to guard 1 with 2. And with the foul trouble that he's in at this point in time, he's not really going to try to do anything. He's going to let Zion rock, right? So, boom, putting that ball in the right spot so now your teammates could be able to make the next play and be able to make the right play. Even though you don't get credit for it, it's the type of plays that should be done. Look, a lot of y'all see this move by BI, and I guess how many goddamn trainers are gonna go in the gym and show their players the same exact move and tell them to do this? So many. But this is where this shit has been fucked up and corrupted, right? Understand why he did it. BI, right? Catch off the cross screen. And so now he wants to low rip through, but he sees Desmond Bane chasing and he's gonna beat him to a spot. So he continues with the low rip through, right? But on the bring back into space, he sees Bane is already low. You can see that right hand is already low. So he just brings that ball up over the top. These moves are literal instinct. This is not some shit you try to go in the gym and rep 50 times. This is not some shit you do. You got to teach a player how to react off instinct. And then you'll possibly be able to get a crossover, a move like that every once in a while. But it's not going to be like that every single time, right? These are moves as to which are determined based upon in-game variables. And if you're not able to read these in-game variables at in-game speed, it's just not going to work. This is the funniest part about it. Look, they zoom in on BI, right? Cold, stone cold face. Shit don't matter. I do this shit, right? But look, why the fuck they put the camera on Desmond Bane? Why the fuck they put the camera on Desmond Bane, bro? Like, what? you thought he was gonna be crying or some shit? You thought he was gonna be angry? He was about to be, what the fuck? You thought he was gonna be red? Nigga, it was just a play, bro. He gonna keep playing. It great as shit for that.